Am I 100% being extra for this because I saw this on YouTube and I'm like, ah! Hey guys, Crystal here. We're doing a tag video. Who is she? Like I say, it's videos sometimes. I ran into this tag this morning at breakfast. The video in question that I was watching, pardon me, constantly looking away at my notes because I tried to actually make a somewhat decent script. And when I say script, I mostly just make sure I get all my information right. Is Jenna the Soul Writer over on YouTube. The link to the video, to the playlist or channel, they're all going to be down below, as well as the questions if you want to do this yourself. As far as tagging goes, instead of tagging people directly, hey, Authortube friends, anybody, you want to do this? I tag you. Yeah. Because come on, I get to nerd out about vampires for a bit. And it's me. Okay. let's scroll back up to the top of my notes and get started. This is a tag for my dreams. Question number 1. When did you first encounter vampires in books? My first one I actually have on my shelf. Some of you may know this answer. It is Goodnight Kiss by R.L. Stine. I think I've talked about this before. As you can see, she's well loved. I started reading because of Goosebumps. And then this was in a book fair, I think. Ignore the fact that your girl, your child person, when I the baby bat did some horrible things because stamps were a problem. Those like cutout stamps. I did some things. I've never ever damaged a cover again in my entire life. But yeah. This was, oh my god, I don't even remember. This is the collector's edition, for one. It's got both the first one and the second one. And then the Vampire Club at the back, I think? But it's Matt and his girlfriend, April, are plunged into a horrifying world of endless night when they encounter the vampires of Sandy Hollow. April is lured away from Matt when a vampire controls her, hypnotizes her, and hypnotize her with a strange, intoxicating kiss. I can barely read this. The text is so small. Now, Matt must save her before she gets her final goodnight kiss. Yeah, so it's a cute little vampire book. I don't remember much else about it. I read it when I was teeny tiny. So this is the first vampire book I've ever read. And I still have it. Question number 2. How about that first encounter? But for movies, cinematic entertainment, media, video games, etc., etc., the questions right here. Obviously, well, not obviously. I think I've mentioned it in some circles, and I'm also kind of repeating the original, Jenna's answers in this. But yes, it was the little vampire. Okay. And then it was also Interview the Vampire Forever Night and Vampire High. I all watched them around the same era, I think. Editing Crystal is going to correct me of how soon they all came out around each other, because saying it, I'm pretty sure, but also it's kind of a blur. But I was obsessed with the little vampire. I was obsessed with Forever Night. I was obsessed with Interview with the Vampire. Originally, I thought Buffy was too scary until season 5. I don't know why. I never actually tried to watch Buffy, but I thought it was too scary. So yeah, child me was weird. Okay. Question 3: what vampire lore do you agree with most? So Vampire the Masquerade. We know I love the TTRPG. Bloodlines 1. I'm currently playing Bloodlines 2. I took a lot of inspiration for Incarnate Rise from Vampire the Masquerade. I loved their clans. I loved how the magic worked. I loved just like they're just kind of people and monsters, and it's like that nice blend between vampire and monster and how this person has to work their way through that world is just chef's kiss, okay? There's also Moonlight, with the exception of the freezer bit. Because in the lore, vampires sleep in freezers. I think that is the dumbest shit on the planet. But I'm a big fan of the paralyzing steak, and I'm a big fan of the silver. The sunlight, I'm kind of like on the fence about that. And in my world, I think it is more Vampire the Masquerade, but the older you get, the less of a pain in the ass it is, but it's always gonna suck. In Moonlight is the more I'm out there, the worse I feel, but there's no burning, which I kind of think is also kind of cool. So there's that. Underworld, I did like the Underworld lore, with the exception of Celine's power creep toward the last of the series. We'll get toward. Well, I think I mentioned that later. And then Buffy, like Buffy's classic in terms of your standard monster. We're just talking about the Buffy monster. Everything else around the Buffiness of it all, Whedon. Not talking about that. Just talking about the lore of the monsters. The monsters are classic, and I like the concept of vampires were just originally demons, and their blood kind of, mixed down the line, and you get the vampires you see through the show. I think that is cool as a concept. Which vampires do I agree with the least? If I don't say Twilight, you would be shocked, right? So I kind of have to say Twilight, because vampires don't fucking sparkle. And if any of my vampires met the Twilight vampires, they would be done. Okay, I'm done. Also, Forever Night. Why did I put Forever Night on here? Oh my god. I mean, I don't like Nick as a character. That might be what I was thinking. This whole like tries to become human thing is just no. I love a vampire who loves being a vampire. Okay, like I know Nick from Moonlight, or Mick, because fun fact, Moonlight is an attempt to recreate Forever Night. Mick St. John also hated being human, or hated being a vampire, but he didn't like try to change. He was just like, well, I guess this is who I am, and it kind of sucks, but whoops, right? In Vampire Night, Teenage Me loved Vampire Night. Like many, a library girly, okay, we loved Vampire Night. Until the reveal of the relations between two of the characters. And I'm not going to do the spoiler thing. Okay? Because some people haven't seen it. But it's not up your girl's alley. And it's, I'm not yucking anybody's yum. We're not yum yuckers here on my channel. My house, okay? My basement. But not for me. Okay. Next question. If you were throwing a masquerade ball, which vampires would be on the invite list? I'm going to have the most chaotic masquerade ball when I do this, okay? So, you've got my cast from Incarnate's Rise. Darian, obviously. Draga, obviously. Sparkles, obviously. Elizabeth, obviously. We're not inviting Christopher because that's just a bad time. The Anarchs from LA by Night, I feel like they would be like a hell of a party. There would be a party, okay? The Moonlight cast, Mick St. John, Joseph Costin, Coraline, sure, because the drama between Coraline and Beth would be amazing. Spike, pre-season 6, okay? Season 6 does not exist for me. Buffy ended at season 5. Done. Jeanette and LaCroix from Forever Night. Damon from Vampire Diaries. Celine from Underworld. Lexi from Vampire Diaries. Caroline from Vampire Diaries. I like her. I'm sorry. Who else? Oh my god. Henry Fitzroy from Blood Night, or from Blood Ties. He can even bring Vic. It's cool. I don't mind. Drew from Vampire High. These are so many deep cuts. I'm so sorry. um, who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? I'm trying. Lestat can come. I think that would be so much fun. um, yeah, I think the party's stacked. I think we'll stop there. Also, I want to add another caveat. Sorry. To another vampire I want at my masquerade. I need a Starion. I need a Starion. I need it. Okay, I need a Starion at my party. Who is on your not on list? Is the next question. Angel is not allowed. Okay, and Nick is not allowed. Here is why. I do not like. I mentioned this previously. I don't like vampires who hate themselves. I'm not like Stefan's not allowed either. Okay, like brooding. Like my life sucks. So therefore, I must brood because I am an eternally hot person who has to drink blood and has superpowers. Isn't my life terrible? Like, bitch, please. Okay, like, just go over there. Go to somebody else's party. You're not welcome at mine. I said it. And the Camarilla from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Okay? Because they are horrible people. And like I said, Christopher's not allowed. He can go hang out at the Elysium with the Camarilla. Okay? Okay. Next question. Which fictional vampire do you think is most deadly? Selene? Because the amount of power she is given by the end of Blood Wars, as much as I would rather Blood Wars just not exist, she is so powerful that it's kind of hard to think of her being stoppable. And I don't like it. I think the power creep was way too much for her character. Because she ends up getting this, like, soupy whoosh whooshy ghost power by the end of Blood War. It was, no. Okay. No. I would also say Christopher. But I'm biased. So, I do think he is the most deadly. He commands the shadows and can make chains out of shadows and has very scary swords. And he's just a fucking psychopath. So, and he is fictional. He's just my fiction. It's fine, right? I can talk about my own kids. Also, the vampire lance from Moonlight, and I think this was really cool, is how the big spoiler. This is like the one spoiler, okay? Fuck, because I kind of have to explain this. But like he gets set on fire and he heals. He's one of the big bads, like the big bads of the season, the series. It's a show that only lasted for one season. Okay, made me sad. But like in the Moonlight world, it's like the way to tell who a vampire was in like the in this editor me say the words in this one era where Mick's sire was a vampire. They took the vampire's finger, they took a person's finger and they burned it, and if it turned to ash, they were proven a vampire. Okay? Well, so Lance gets set on fire and he fucking heals. I'm sorry. If you are immune to a vampire's weakness, you are more powerful than any other vampire in the mythos. Right? Like, hot shit. Who do you think is the most realistic? Mick St. John and Joseph Costin, mostly because in the Moonlight series, they're kind of played off as just dudes. Like, they're just a guy who just happens to have vampire powers. Like, that is one thing I do like about Mick, even though I put more of my Moonlight love for vampires onto Joseph Costin, because he is a vampire who loves what he does. Like, I am hot and I am strong. Hear me be hot, right? And he just owns his shit. And we love that. We love it. Okay? Okay. But yeah, no, like vampires who are played off as just like people with powers. It's like the your character isn't a vampire, they are a person who happens to be a vampire. That's kind of one of my favorite ways to look at writing vampires, is they're just folk. All right? They're just folk that have powers. Like, I could even say the vampires from Vampire the Masquerade would be similar, but they have more powers. Like, Joseph Costin and Mick St. John, like, literally are just stronger and are faster and can take a hit, right? Like, that's pretty much all they are. And they drink blood. And they sleep in a freezer. That's a stupid part. But, like, yeah, they're just dudes. They're just dudes. Next question. Which historical vampire figure do you enjoy reading or doing research about most, if any? It's been a minute since I've done my research on vampires. And I feel like I'm repeating the other video saying Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, and like the history surrounding what Bram Stoker turned into Dracula. I thought that was really cool. I'm a big fan of Vampire the Untold, or Dracula the Untold, sorry. And with like Mehmed II and stuff like that, and then going to research like what was, because apparently like Mehmed II was done dirty in the movie. So like, yeah, researching all that was really cool. And then there was Elizabeth Bathory also. She blaved in the red sticky icky to make herself prettier, and like the whole history around her is nuts. And yeah, I also researched other vampire cultures, like Eastern vampires. But do I remember like any specific legend or anything? No, because this is what happens when you make a video before you finish your freaking coffee. But that's what we do here on this channel. I decide to do things without any forethought whatsoever. It's fine. Next question is, which vampire authors are on your must-read this season book list? I had to go look at my picker for this. For those of you, the uninitiated, I have a wheel that I spin every so often to choose a book to read, because I'm trying to be a better reader. I went to go see if there are any vampires on that list, because I don't want to add any more books to that list just specifically because there's vampires in that book, because I want to actually get through this bloody list. Right now, I'm waiting for my hold for Gideon the Ninth to proc. I'm like 20th in line on my library app, which does not have vampires. But the vampire books on my list, and I apologize for butchering names if that happens. It's going to be here around this spot. Vampires Never Get Old by Zoradia Cordova. Like I said, I'm sorry. Solace by Gail Carriger. This was a Mars recommendation for me that I put on my list. And Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. Those were the three that I found that have vampires in it. There might be more. The list is like 40 titles long now. So and half of them were blind recommendations from like watching top fantasy books in top books in fantasy. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I don't actually, many of the books that are on that list, I don't even know what they're about. So it's fine. That's why we're an Agent of Chaos. I go in blind. Okay. That was that one. That was the end of that. Yeah. If you're interested in doing this tag, like I said before, link is down below to the video, the author's, the creator's page. The questions are going to be down below. Everything important. Also, I did say I am an author of the book Incarnate's Rise, which she is your girl. She's your girl right here. It is a secret lineage paranormal fantasy with vampires, werewolves, magic, gods, and a woman who is thrown into a destiny that may or may not be her own. It is a time. It is available wherever books are sold. The link to it as well is down below. Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Waterstones, Indie, Canadian Book, bookstore. She's everywhere. So if you want a copy of your very own, this is my debut novel. It is book 1 in a series of 7 in a trench coat, hopefully. I'm currently working on book 2 as we speak. Well, I mean, as we speak, I'm doing this video. You get the idea. If you want more of my face, I stream on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We do Write With Me productivity live streams where we write, we vibe, we hang, we talk, we do the things. It's fun. It's a time. On Mondays, I do, which is today, funnily enough. We do things just a little bit differently. I play games. Today's game is, like I said, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. So I will be doing that at 12 p.m. Eastern Time today as well. That's the video, folks. Until next time, I love and appreciate every single one of you. We will see you guys next video, stream, reel, wherever the hell it is. You find me next.